Once again, my name is Lawrence Slay, also as Mr. International. I'm here in New York City, specifically the BX, the Bronx, boogie down. So tonight's topic is I'm speaking on back to basics, the 5 steps, because I believe that, we talked about mindset, we talked about health. There's a few other things that we need to talk about, right? And this is for new investors, seasoned investors, people looking to do any kind of business, right? And so the first thing is I read this quote. People do not decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future, right? So the first one off the bat, we talked about this a lot this month already, is mindset, right? You need to get your mind right, right? And the first thing about getting your mind right is stop talking negative to yourself, right? We talk negative, I'm gonna try, maybe, right? How about this? I'm working on it, I will do it, I am going to do it, and I can do it. We have to stop talking negative, because what happens is that they say the tongue kills more people than the gun. And a lot of times when you say negative things about yourself, it resonates over and over again in your head. And sometimes you're gonna start believing it. And that's a scary part when you start believing what you're saying. So we're gonna talk about that there, right? Also, it's like I read the book with David Goggins. He talks about you against you. Ain't nobody else, there's nobody else. The only problem is you against you, right? When you look in the mirror, you're facing the enemy, okay? And to do all this, to get this mindset right, you need to read books. And also, in addition to reading books, be around like-minded people, okay? And some of the books I have looked at and I've read is The Go-Giver by Bob Berg, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, As a Man Thinketh. I love that book. As a Man Thinketh, James Allen. There's so many diamonds in there and so many gems in there, it's scary. And this man wrote this book in the 1800s, right? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and the 10, and we're talking about, you know what? Your business is only gonna be as good as your relationship at home is gonna be. If your relationship at home is a mess, your business is gonna be a mess, right? So if you're married, living together, you have to be on the same page. So I read this book before, The 10 Commandments of Marriage by Ed Young Jr. Even if you're single, this is a good book to read, right? Because he has some awesome stuff in there. 10 Commandments of Marriage. And that, like I said, everything is based on relationships. So you got to have your home first, taken care of first before you do anything else. So that's mindset, number 1. Next, we're going to talk about networking. Networking, I'm going to talk about the 4 Ps. The 4 Ps are positivity, prosperity, patterns, and produce. Right? Those are the 4 Ps. Let's talk about positivity. So when you're going out now, because I notice that everybody is going to a lot of personal in-person meetups, a lot of in-person meetups, a lot of conferences been going on this year. And so now you got to talk about being positive when you're going out, right? Don't come in there with a wimpy handshake, right? Come in there smiling. Don't come late. Get there early. 10 minutes before, I suggest 10 minutes before. So that when you get there, you can meet everybody coming in. They get to know you. Okay? Firm handshake and also a smile, a nice smile. Now, no fake smile, a smile, right? Like, hey, how you doing? Okay, there you go. Minus the halo, right? That'd be crazy. The halo's there, right? But you got to come with a smile, right? A smile, being positive. You're going to have positive self-image. You're going there to have a great time. You're going to meet people to network with, because you may find your next partner in there, right? Next one is prosperity. Prosperity is when you're giving out information, you're helping people out. But the only way to get prosperity is for you to be able to give this information out. That means you have to read, right? You have to have the knowledge, some information to give out prosperity, be prosperous, to help somebody else also. You want to help other people. You got to be a go-giver, i.e. the book, Bob Berg. Next, we can talk about patterns. When you go to these meetups, you got to create a pattern. Going once this week here, once the following month, and once 2 months after that, nobody gets to know you. So you got to create a pattern, being consistent in the same, if you go to the same meetup, be consistent going to the meetup all the time. There people get to know you. Once people, you talk about this all the time. Once people get to know you, they get to like you, and hopefully they get to trust you. Maybe I had that backwards. Hopefully they'll like you. Hopefully they like to know you, and then they like to trust you. But either way, you got to get there and be there early, be positive, come with some information, be willing to help others. It's not about you. You're here to help others. And finally, it's called produce. So once after the meetup's over and you go home, make sure you call people back in 24 to 48 hours, right? So let them know that you were, listen, nice meeting you. And please remember the conversation you have with them. So if they have a little card, the piece of paper, write down what you talked about. If they talked about kids, then they listen, nice meeting you. I'm nice meeting you to hear about your family. And then maybe you can get together for coffee. Maybe get together for something, right? But do something. Don't forget to follow other people. That's called produce. So after that, the books for networking, right? I read these books. I love these books. Networking Like a Pro by Ivan Misner. That's the godfather of networking. There's also Small Talk by Deborah Fine, and Your Network is Your Net Worth by Porter Gale. These are all tremendous books. So now we're going to talk about what we talked about last week, health, right? Health is wealth. Health is wealth. That's one of the pillars that we have. You got to take care of yourself, right, Angel? Got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. That's right, family. Your network is your net worth, but you got to take care of yourself. And we heard from last week from Dr. V about taking care of your stress, right? Taking care of you, getting sleep. You can't burn the candle at both ends and expect to be clear, okay? I was listening to something the other day, and the gentleman said that he needs his sleep because if he doesn't get his sleep, he does not think clearly throughout the day. And when you have less sleep, that's when you're prone to making mistakes or not staying focused. So let's keep the health part of it, the health part of it alive. You got to be healthy. So that's one of the pillars is health. Eating right. We talked about, we had a thing last month about setting goals. Some people say they want to start eating right, getting to the gym. Get to the gym. If you can't get to the gym, do something at home. You don't have to go to the gym. You can get two empty containers of detergent. After they finish, fill them with water and use them as weights. You got to stay healthy because if you don't have no health, there's no wealth. That's the bottom line is there. No need to go no further about that. Now we're going to talk about the main, this is my issue right here. Workout online too. Thank you, Pam. That's right. Workout online. You got an iPhone, or you got some sort of phone. They have workouts. You can do it, put the phone up and do it right there, right? Next is we're talking about the fourth pillar is getting organized. Getting organized. This has been my thorn in my side. Getting organized. And getting organized is both personal and business-wise, because clutter is obscurity to clarity. If you're cluttered at home, you're cluttered in business. right? Your cluttering business. So personally, to declutter, right? Get your desk in order. My desk is sometimes just a mess, right? But at the end of the day, get your desk in order so you can find stuff you need. I was listening to a podcast on Bigger Pockets. They said this is the time to start, deleting file stuff in your computer. When you have downtime, find stuff and clear your computer out, right? Also, clear your desk out. Throw stuff out. Throw stuff out the way. Also, organize yourself. If you're looking to invest in real estate, organize your finances, right? Get a sheet. Oh my goodness. Get a sheet for your net worth, right? Find out what your net worth is. Organize your finances also. Get a sheet that has your assets and liabilities. Take a look at it and see what's happening and go, oh, you go, yay. Okay? Get it together. Get this is like a downtime in real estate. For some reason, it's like everybody's waiting in the bushes sometimes, I think. Right? This is the time right now, the beginning of the year, to get our stuff together, because they saying this year and next year is going to be a time of great joy, of time to make millionaires. So this is the time right now to get it together. So we're talking about organized personal also. There's no such thing as time management. You got to manage yourself better. So get a planner, or whatever you want to use, and start time blocking your time. Because I can tell you from personal experience, I've been retired. Time is the last year, time just flitted away because I wasn't taking advantage of myself. This year, I'm making a concerted effort to manage myself. I got my planner out. The planner has your goals for the year, your gratitude list, all these things. I wrote it all down. And it also has talk about time blocking. So in talk about time blocking, we're gonna go to the 12-week year book, right? The 12-week year talks about time blocking, to give yourself blocks of time to do what needs to get done and don't deviate from it. For me, 7 o'clock to 8:30 is reading the Bible, prayer, quiet, a meditation, the Bible app, right? A plan, and then stop and eat breakfast, and then it's time to go to the gym at 9 o'clock. That's my thing for the whole week, from Monday through Saturday. Okay? You have to plan your time. If you don't plan your time, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it. Like I said before, also plan your finances this year also. Get your asset and liability sheet out. You can find them wherever and take these things down and find out where you're at in life. Okay? And the last one is education. You have to get educated in this business. Any business you're doing, because it's not just about real estate, this is about any business you're doing. You got to get educated with the lingo, terminology, right? Because times have changed right now. This ain't 19, 20, 21, and 22. Right? Times have changed. Interest rates are up. There's a lot of things going on. So when I say get educated, get to meetups, get a coach, get a mentor, go to some conferences. If you can't travel, go online. There's online conferences also. Books to read, Millionaire Investor. There's so many books to read, right? There's so many books to read about investing in real estate. If I had all the books I have, I could start a library, right? Maybe I should have just read 1 or 2 books, right? But also remember, in education, you're going to educate. You want to stay away from the shiny object syndrome, right? Stay with what you want to do. Stay what you want to do. Okay, stay with what you got to do. But you need to educate yourself. Find people who are going your way and get around them and educate them. Learn together. Angel has a mastermind group. Did you put it in the chat, Angel? Put the
Our
chat.
next one, sorry, our next one starts up in June.
Okay. So there you go. She has a mastermind group,
Yeah.
right? There's other mastermind groups going around.
We got a summit coming up at the end of March.
Did you put that in the group? Did you put that in the chat?
I can put that in the chat.
Thank you, Angel. Appreciate you. So to get to the next level of success, right? You had to do these. I believe you had to do these, put these 5 steps. Because I believe in my heart and in my soul that this is gonna be everybody's best year ever. I truly believe that. And the question is, you had to believe it, not me, right? You had to believe it. And with that, this was gonna be a long, drawn out process. Because I like this interactive. So with that, I like to find if anybody has anything to add to the 5 steps.
What were 1 and 2 again? I want to make sure I got them right.
Number 1 was mindset. Number 2 is networking.
I must have missed number 3 then.
And number 3 is health.
Oh, that's what I missed. Okay.
Health is a must, right?
Yeah, that was what Dr. B talked about.
We talked about health in depth last week. Yes, I know.
No, hey, I'm glad she was there. It was a conversation.
Mindset, networking, health, get organized, and
get educated.
And get educated. Right? When I say when you're talking about educated, grab a book and read it. Right? Because you just can't come here. You know, if you want to be the best, you have to read. That's about mine. Okay, we should add, Brandon said we should add, be efficient. Okay?
Who, not how?
There you go. Who, not how. Okay, that's another book you read. Dan Sullivan, Who, Not How. But to be efficient, you have to manage your time. You got to manage. You got not manage. You got to manage yourself. Right? You got to manage yourself. Anybody? Any questions?
Harder, not harder.
There you go. And Pamela said, I think if you organize, you will be efficient.
Hey, Lawrence, I think it's not really just more of a question. I think I just wanted to gauge everybody's thoughts. Feel free to everybody to pitch in. It's just, when you talk about I think you mentioned it earlier, don't get distracted by the shiny things. I forgot which step that was in, right? For me,
that was on 4.
4, yeah, organize, right? Like, don't get distracted with all the new shiny things, right? Before the year started, I set goals for myself, right? What I want to achieve. I never rent. I've always been renting. I never owned any real estate. So that's like my goal for the year. But as I'm joining these real estate groups, these mastermind groups, they're like, oh, you could make a ton more money with this. Hey, you should join us in our joint venture. Hey, I got this great investment deal going on. So I'm just like, oh man, I'll look at all this shiny things, right? Obviously these people are experts. They know what they're talking about. They know all these potential money-making things. But for me, I just started learning about, underwriting, applying for a loan, considering working with the realtors, and then having built up your team. I don't have no experience, no nothing. And it's just like so many shiny things, right? Should I put my money in this shiny thing or in this shiny thing instead of what I originally started? I mean, I just wanted to pitch that idea to you guys because, I'm assuming you guys come across a lot of deals, whether as a passive or active, or even just someone like myself trying to get into real estate. How do you guys keep that laser focus without having to think, is there fear of missing out if I don't jump on this opportunity?
Angel?
I mean, there's always FOMO. But that's why I rely on my husband. He's our underwriter. But for real, like when it came to putting our team together, I took on the role of relationships, whether that's investors, vendors, property management companies, I'm friends with a guy that we do our electric contract with. Like he was the first person I met in the real estate investing space that we had a normal friend. We had a mutual friend outside of real estate investing. And so if you've got the right people around you, they're going to help you see where you should be spending your time, but you're still going to spin your wheels on stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard not to get distracted because everything looks amazing.
Mm.
We're not into oil wells because we didn't get distracted. Okay. you're just going to, and it's okay. It's a learning experience, and you get to learn about a different asset class, or you get to learn about a different part of the space, whether that's like, say you get distracted by triple net. I have a friend that started out in multifamily and got distracted by triple net, and now he's only in triple net. And so, I mean, it's not always a horrible thing just because I think squirrel gets a bad name.
Yeah, that's I gotten called that by my coworkers while I was at work, that there's always like something more urgent, right? It's like squirrel, you know.
Yeah.
SK, I think I like him saying JOMO, joy of missing out and not jumping in unprepared. Right.
A lot of times, if the shiny object, you get no place in time because you're here, you're there, you're everywhere, right? So you're not so focused on learning one thing. Now, the angel said this now that, her friend, they were in the multifamily, then they went to the triple net, but I'm sure they did their homework, and that's why they're stuck there, right? So therefore, if you feel like you want to get into multifamily, if you don't get a triple net, learn your craft. That's a craft. That's all it is. It's a craft you're learning, right? So be good at it. But if you learn,
we still like residential too. I mean,
yeah. So, but they started residential, right?
Yeah.
So, and don't get people wrong. People, you start small. Listen, do what suits you, please. Right? Don't follow the herd. You should get 100 units. You need to get 200 units. Do what's comfortable. Yeah, people talk about get out of your comfort zone, but if that's what makes you happy, that makes you joyous and free, stick with you makes you joyous and free.
yeah. Well, and 0.001% ownership in a 100-unit building might be the same as what you got in your single family home.
True. Yeah.
The biggest difference is the vacancy risk, because when a single family home is vacant, it's 100% vacant. At least with multifamily, you get to spread it out. But if you have more than one, I mean, my father-in-law, he invested in residential multis, so duplexes, triplexes, and quads, and had 60 units. And well, my mother-in-law doesn't have to work. She'll never have to worry about what's going on with her life ever again. She's just set. So you can make it in residential multi also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let people talk you out of residential just because multifamily or triple net or industrial flex or whatever is the next best shiny thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, for those of you, I'm sure most of you, like you said, Angel, like you come from residential and multifamily, and they're two totally different beasts. I tried learning things concurrently, and it's not easy. Like you can't study for multifamily and then do residential simultaneously. For me, it's a different industry. Like there's some overlapping in terms of real estate, but then multifamily, you have to learn how to work with people a lot more than if you were a single family or residential.
Yeah, because like with singles and other residential, it's us, it's a property manager, and that's pretty much it. If we need to repair something, I don't have to go to a GP team and figure out who are the approved vendors. We just call and start trying to get it taken care of. And if this electrician can't come out, you call the next electrician in line. If this appliance repair guy can't come out, you're going to call the next one. And it's different with multifamily. I think in some ways multifamily moves slower, but I think it's more that with residential, even though you think you're passive, you're not. And so it feels like things move faster because you're more involved in the process. Whereas with multifamily, yes, you're involved, but it's your property management company that's going to be making all the calls and taking care of everything for you. So it feels different.
Yeah.
But just keep your eye on your prize, right? Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. I always tell people it's hocus pocus. Keep the focus. Keep the focus on what you need to do. Because you have to see what happens. I think some people, well, that guy's doing that. Let me try this because he's making, you may not make that money right now, right? So just stay focused on what you're doing. Start with little steps too. So little steps, learn, like I said, educate yourself. I mean, you have most time every week. And I'm sure you make other meetings and other stuff. So keep on doing what you're doing until you find out what you really want to do. And when you make your mind up, you're educated. You know what I'm saying? So Pamela says you have to sleep at night, and some people are selling also, right? So you just do what you're doing. Continue what you're doing. When you make your mind up what you want to do, you'll be ready, prepared. Right?
Yeah, and you can always like start out with something like house hacking or
Actually, that's kind of my first plan, right? Is to get rid of like, rentals in total. And you were kind of mentioning the whole like vacancy rate, right? So some of the multi-unit apartments that I have here in South Jersey that I'm looking at is close to hospitals or in a public transport that is transportable to hospitals. And then I just have to rent it out by room potentially for one unit that's 3-bedroom and then do it, per bedroom. Obviously, it'll be a higher turnover rate, but obviously there's a less chance for 100% vacancy rate and do a 33% or 66% with 3-bedroom. Obviously, I have to look into that a bit more, but my mindset or my plan is right. Like you were mentioning, Lawrence, is having the organization and education. One thing is like financial freedom, and for me, that's in real estate. So I might not be going into multifamily deals as an LP right away, but I have every intention of at least having my expenses covered to a certain percentage. Right now, it's at least 50% by the end of the year. So that's including everything, including housing. So right now, as soon as I hit that, then I'll rearrange it for the next 2024 year and be like, all right, am I going to go for 100% expenses covered with a residential? Or am I now going to try and take on the beast of multifamilies and kind of join in and through syndications, and then from there, hopefully partake in being a GP? I mean, all this is, theoretical, but like you said, having that long-term guideline of being very descriptive, educating myself on what's feasible, right? I'm learning that 100% financial freedom within 1 year with how much I make and what, my current market, it's a little bit difficult. So I'm still learning, it's still January, so I still have some time to tweak it.
There you go, man. There you go. Listen, this is only January. Now I did say I did preface it though that there's some people already who they say they're gonna do their New Year's resolutions. They're going by the wayside already. Right?
Yeah.
Because once again, people do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future.
Have you met Vlad yet?
Oh yeah, most. Me and him kind of talk offline all the
I was
time.
gonna say he's from New Jersey.
Yeah, he is like northern Jersey, but he has some properties here at South Jersey. Tried telling me a couple, but I was like, oh, a little bit harder.
I can't remember if he's a realtor or if his wife is or if both of them are.
No, he is a realtor. He's trying to get his wife out of working full time.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a realtor here in South Jersey, but he says he just hates it. He just needs it because like it's in close proximity, and his multifamily deals are all the way in like Austin.
Right. Yeah.
He's got one in Dallas he's working on right now.
Yeah, I think he's working on that deal.
Yeah, they're backfilling.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a great thing how you could just overlap with a bunch of people that, we're jumping from one multifamily to single family REWI and stuff like that. I'm just like, I've seen you guys in other Zoom sessions.
There you go. So this is about, so like I said, we talk about networking, right? There was the second step. Once you start networking, as you see, networking works because Vlad, because Angel, it's funny Angel said that because there's times I said something to somebody, listen, so. Oh yeah, I met him.
Now don't ask me to say his last name.
No,
it's like Arketchev.
He just said it. What was it yesterday?
It's Cheyev, Cheyev, but it's Arketchev.
I think it was one syllable, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's like I look at it. If I hear him say it, I look at it, I see it. But when I try and say it, no.
Yeah.
So Cleveland Best, you have any questions, Cleveland Best? How you doing, first of all?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I hear you well, loud and clear.
Yeah, good. No questions. I'm just chiming in. I'm driving, so I really can't watch the video, but I'm just listening. And taking as many pointers as I can.
Okay. And what is your name? Is your name Cleveland Best? Is that just your AKA?
No, that's my name.
Okay.
Got you. Yeah. So I'm looking at buying some properties this year. So
Mhm.
I'm in the process of educating myself. I'm a contractor by day.
Okay.
So I've
Where
been fixing
you
people's
located?
home. I'm up in Orange County, New York, Hudson
Oh,
Valley area.
okay, by me. Okay.
Oh, okay. You're nearby. Where are you located?
Well, I'm in the Bronx, but
Okay. Well, you're a little further south.
yeah, a little further south.
Yeah. So but yeah, so we're been busy fixing other people's homes and helping them flip their houses. So why not us get into that same type of space?
Mhm.
Then as we build some capital, we want to buy some multifamilies and hold them and get some residual income coming in.
Nice. Okay, there you go. So let's put, if you can, I mean, you're a New York driver, so we New York driver, you can drive and text at the same time. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh gosh.
If you get a chance, drop your name in the chat when you get to where you're going. Jot your number.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Great.
Beautiful. Will do.
No, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
One other thing, I heard you say that you guys meet every week. I only saw like this invitation once, so would I just look into meet up every week and see you guys or find you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Every
Okay.
Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Sounds good.
And also I'm on LinkedIn also.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find me on LinkedIn also.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay. Great. So Pamela, you got any questions, Pamela?
No, I'm just trying to get educated by showing up to these meetups every week. I'm just trying to learn. I don't, I don't think it is still my goal to make my first purchase this year if a good deal comes up. I
Okay.
haven't focused on a market though. I haven't identified the market that I want to focus on though. I haven't done that homework as of yet, but I'm just still trying to educate myself. I understand what the gentleman was saying earlier about the shiny object syndrome. You know, it's easy because you get so excited when you go to these meetups and everybody's talking about a new strategy or a new something, but I'm trying to stay focused because if I don't understand it, I want to get, like you say, educated in one area before you just kind of jump all over everywhere. And then some people are also selling their services too, so you kind of have to be careful. People are looking for investors that may not be what your goal, it may not be in alignment with what your goal is. So I think like once I find that I get clear on my goal, then the shiny objects don't even make sense because you know how to make a decision when that shiny object comes in front of you because you're so focused on your goal that it's not in alignment with your goal. So not to even go to that meetup or to that right or wherever it is. Like I had another meeting today and then I said, okay, should I stay half in this meeting and go to the other meeting? And then I thought about my goals and I said, does it align with my most immediate goal? And it didn't. So why should I waste my time over there? So I think if you kind of just hone in on what it is you want to accomplish, then some of that shiny objects isn't as shiny as it was before because it's just not in alignment with what your ultimate goal is.
I'm glad you brought that point about alignment of goals. Right? When you're dealing with people, their goals, their integrity, their character, everything has to line up with you. It's not the opposite way around. You got to align with them. They need to align up with your goals and how your dreams and, like I said, character integrity. Right, Angel? Right? Character.
Yeah, you gotta do what. So this is where you're constantly gonna be hit with get outside your comfort zone, get outside your comfort zone, get outside your comfort zone. But just like rental growth, I think you hit an upper limit. Like we're doing CBA goals right now, and I'm looking at it, and my husband's like, "Where's your seagull?" Because I almost said I want to write a book. He said, "Well, that's not a seagull, that's a beagle," because lots of people are doing that already around us. But to me, it is a reach. It's a reach for me to do that because it's unless I'm in the mood to do it, I'm not going to do it. But once I get hyper focused on it, I may knock out a third of it in one day, and then it's going to sit on the back burner until I get on fire for it again.
Mm.
And so what I've discovered is that when you start doing things outside your comfort zone, your comfort zone catches up so super fast. And I don't know. I feel like I've gotten better
You got
understanding.
your sword, your wife starts talking, you're like,
Go ahead.
But I think you get a better idea of what you like and what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, there's things that I could force myself to do, like hold an in-person event or hold these things, but I don't really want to do that. I like doing virtual events, and I'm about to do my 7th one, and they've gotten not necessarily easy, but they're a whole lot easier than they used to be. And I like it. And I like being able to share that information. And I don't know, I don't really want to push to do more than that right now. And I don't think I'm being comfortable, and like I don't think I'm being lazy. I think I've pushed for a couple of years now, and I'm ready to chill for a little bit. And maybe jump back in. But right now I just kind of want to chill because I don't know. I think it's okay to kind of accomplish a lot and then sit back for a little bit too.
You go, listen, you know what? Angel just may hit the nail on the head right there too. You know, you can do what you want to do something that's going to bring. I'm reading this book, Motivation Manifesto, right? And it talks about the joy, right? And that's because of Julie Hyde's book club. I haven't been in a book club. I'm reading the book, right? But what you're doing, you have to have joy. It's like a job. A job ain't the worst thing in the world, right? A lot of people talk, you need to get rid of your job, get rid of your job. If you get rid of your job, how you can get money?
You got to replace the money before you get rid of the job.
Exactly. Right? And you got to enjoy your job. Like I'm not blowing myself up here, but you know what? I worked for the New York State Transit for 41 years. I enjoyed my job. I came in there with a smile on my face. I ain't gonna say I was happy all the time. He gave me moves, right? But I was happy. And I did my job and I did it well. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. So Angel had the nail head. I don't listen. Maybe I'd like to do this, but you know what? It's not being comfortable. I feel at ease in myself, and I feel this brings me joy. I'm gonna tell you right now, Angel's joy is bringing people together and educating people and bringing people. That's it. Now she wanted to do a live event. That'd be a whole nother story. Now she's stressed, right? And she wants to work on her health this year also. So those two are not congruent.
Well,
right?
I want to work on getting 7-8 hours of sleep a night. I can't remember the last time I got 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night.
So that's part of health.
Yeah. And so I want to figure out how to get back to sleep. Well, if I'm stressed because we've already added on a bazillion things. We're doing the mastermind. We got another property across the finish line. We're doing this. And I'm already like, ah. Exactly. And so it's no wonder I can't sleep.
So listen, don't like Angel said, the comfort zone, nothing grows in comfort zone. But when you're talking about comfort zone, they're talking about this being stagnant, right? I don't feel like doing this. I'm not going to do that. But when you're doing things, when you feel you play too much, something's going to give. Something's going to fall over the side. And just maybe you.
It's not worth it to keep pushing to burn out.
Yeah, right? Don't forget, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. I heard this the other day. Matt Fairclough was talking about this on this podcast. Because he said, "Oh, you didn't make your goals for this year yet." So he said, "I know there's a rule you can't make goals like in the middle of January. I know you can make goals in February, right? People are trying to conform a lot to what everybody else is doing. And as long as you put your goals, your goals, you write them down and whatnot, you can write them down middle of next year for this year. You can write them down now for this year. The bottom line is, are you going to put the action in? Right? Because my favorite saying is, are you interested or committed? If you're just interested in your goals, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to get to them. because I'm just interested. If they do, I'm gonna try to get to it. You're not gonna get to it. But if you're committed, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get to it. You're gonna read, you're gonna change your mindset, you're gonna network, you're going to make sure you get some sleep, Angel.
I mean, when we think about that commitment thing, like you started this meetup, was it 2020?
2020, yeah, October. Yep. Yeah.
So I mean, like you started this and you stuck with it, and you know, it's just like any other meetup, it ebbs and flows, but
Yeah.
it's people know that you're going to be here on Tuesday nights.
That's it. Well, that's like when you started your meetup, remember that? It was like me, Angel, and who else? And Mark.
And Mark, Aaron,
And Aaron.
and Jason, but Jason was still at work.
Jason still at work. So therefore, commitment means I'm going to do it no matter what. That's commitment to your goals, commitment to your life, right? If you're in a relationship, I'm going to do it no matter what. Right? I'm going to do whatever I need to do no matter what. And that's what life is about. Living life on life's terms, right? If somebody throws you a lemon, make some lemonade out of it, right?
Or make enough money to pay somebody else to make it.
My God, there you go.
I just think, I mean, like, man, we all had humble beginnings. We started out and there were just a few of us,
Mhm.
and we just
This
stuck
group.
with it.
Second group, right? So the same thing will happen to you too. To everybody here, you just got to stick with it this year. Do not let, there's going to be disappointments, but disappointment is inevitable. Misery is voluntary.
Mhm.
If you're going to be miserable because you disappoint yourself or something didn't happen, that's no need for that. Disappointment is a thing you learn from whatever happened and carry that forward to the next event, right? So we talked about a few things tonight, and I'm going to tell everybody thank you for coming on tonight. Right? We talked about the 5 steps. I mean, I think we all need to take care of this year to make this the best year ever. So the first one is mindset, right? Get your mind right. Okay? What are you saying to yourself? Number 2 is networking, right? Networking. Positivity, prosperity, patterns, and produce. Go to a meetup with a smile on your face and a positive attitude. Be prosperous. You can be prosperous by reading and helping other people. That's being prosperous. Patterns. When you go to meetups, don't just go to that meetup this week and then 2-3 weeks later you go again. Go to every week. Then at the end is produce. When you produce, that means you're going to call people after you meet them, call them, tell them thank you, nice meeting you. And also when you compensate people, get to know them. It ain't all about you, right? It ain't all about you. Find out about them. So where do you live? What do you do? What are your children? You have children? Yeah, what do they play? Oh, really? Because my kids play the same thing too, right? Get to know people. The third one is health. Health, no wealth. So take care of your body. Eat right, get some sleep. I'm working on 2, Angel. Get some sleep, right? Get to the gym. If you can't get to the gym, Pamela said before, there's programs on the phone. Can't get to the phone, take those empty detergent bottles, fill them up with something, and you can lift weights like anybody else, right? The 4th one is get organized. Get yourself organized personally and financially. Block time. If you don't understand that, get the book, 12-Week Year. It tells about how to block your time, how to set goals and get those goals done. And don't forget, don't set the goal for the next 3 months, not a whole year. Break that goal for the year, breaking down 3-month quarter for each quarter, right? So you can get those things done. And therefore also get your asset and liability sheet out. Find out what you're doing with your money, right? Get organized. Don't just think and hope. I hope I'm okay. Know what you owe, right? And the fifth one is get educated. Get educated. Ying said, talk about the shiny object syndrome, right? If you get educated in one thing, you need to get educated in one thing and stick to it. Then after you become very sharp in that area, then you can gravitate towards something else. Because the shiny object syndrome is real in real estate, it's real in life, you know? So let's do this year, make this year the best year ever. All right, let's work on it together. And if anybody needs any help, please feel free. My number, well, my number's in my, it's not in the chat, but it's in my link on my LinkedIn page. My telephone number is there, right? You want to take it down? It's 646-250-8430. You can give me a call anytime. We can talk real estate, relationships, whatever, right? And speaking of relationships, I'm going to say this too also on a mindset part. Once again, if your relationship at home with your significant other is not tight, your business is not going to be right. So a book I would recommend for anybody really is 10 Commandments of Marriage. And that's by Ed Young Jr. It's an excellent book. It's an excellent book. So I want to say thank you again, everybody, for coming tonight. I appreciate you. And next week, we're going to talk about, everybody's going to come, those who hopefully that from December, we can talk about how far they've gotten on their goals for this year. Right? Because everybody talk about they want to lose weight. So what are you doing to see if what are you doing to give away? What was the word you used?
Release.
Release. What have you done to release your weight? Right? You said you want to eat right. What are you doing to eat right? You said you want to do this, you want to do that. What are you doing to get to that point? Because the object is the goal, but you gotta get the tactics to get to that goal. Right. So what tactics have you done so far? Because the month is up. Let's give it a call day. The month is up. Right. Next week, Monday is the 30th. Right. The month is up. So you still find tactics to get to where you want to go.